Hi guys, welcome back to the Makeup Hunter. In today's video I am going to be continuing with my short series on my makeup collection. So I'm going to be taking you into my collection category by category. We'll be looking at all of the product that I have, doing some swatches of things and sort of helping me and you see where I stand with my collection at the start of 2022. In today's video I'm moving on to the second drawer in my makeup unit, which contains all powders, so loose powders and pressed powders, setting and finishing, and I've also got cream bronzers, contours and cream blushes. So I'm going to be going through everything. I'll be swatching quite a lot, but not absolutely everything, or this video would be days long. I am still sounding a little bit ropey. My chest is particularly bad today, so the more and more I talk, the more I'll probably be a bit breathless and coughing, so I do apologise for that, and I do hope you bear with me. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel. It means the absolute world to me. I really do appreciate all of the people that I have met through this channel. Give me a like if you do like this kind of content from me, and if you are enjoying these videos, it does help me to know that what I'm creating is, you know, being received well, being enjoyed. It helps me plan my videos. You know, it really does help us creators to know what you guys are enjoying or not enjoying. Leave me a comment. I do try to respond to every comment that I get, and I actually really enjoy chatting to you guys in the comments. So with all that being said, let's get into the video. Okay, so I've raised you up slightly so you can get a better view of things and I can get more on my towel in shot. So this is the drawer that we are going to be working on today. I'm not going to be going through my lashes. To be honest, these don't really change because I very rarely use lashes. We're going to be going through all of these. So I'm going to get everything out. I'm going to do it in the same way that I did my previous video, where I'm going to sort of take products out in the same family. So like I'll do loose powders, then pressed powders, cream bronzers, and then we'll finish on cream blushes. So I'll get all these out and we'll get started. Okay, so these are all the loose powders that I have in my collection currently. It is currently golden hour, and I'm working in completely natural daylight, so I have a feeling that we are going to lose light as the video goes on. When that happens, I'll grab my ring light, but for now I think the lighting's quite nice. Well, that's what it looks like to me anyway. So firstly, we'll start with my Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder. This is translucent in the shade Light 1. I started using this in 2021 and I really enjoy it. It is, as it says, the perfect setting powder. It's a lovely tone on me. It doesn't add any coverage or colour to my skin. It just sets my makeup in place and keeps it locked there. It's quite blurring, and I absolutely love this under my eyes. Then I have two that I haven't used yet, that I haven't even opened. This is the e.l.f. Halo Glow and the Fenty Beauty loose powder in the shade Butter. This is sort of like a small size. You do get quite a lot of products, so I do quite like having like the smaller sizes in a loose powder. I've heard nothing but good things about both of these, but I can't really comment on what they're like because I haven't tried them. A powder that's in my project pan and one of my favourite loose setting powders. This is the Ysl Souffle Declat. Mine is in the shade number 3. This was actually given to me by my mum, so it's not a shade that I would particularly purchase for myself, but it works perfectly fine on my skin. I don't use it as an under eye powder because it is slightly too deep for that, but it works perfectly fine as an all over face powder for me. Unfortunately, they have discontinued this, so you know, it's one that I kept saving and saving because I know I can't get it anymore, but it is actually in my project pan. I do want to give this some TLC and get it moved through my collection, as it's not available anymore, and as you can see I have plenty of others to use. Another really nice setting powder that I discovered in 21 is the Inglot Stage Sport Screen. This is a mattifying loose powder. It looks very yellow, but it's actually not. It's completely translucent. It doesn't show up on the skin at all, but it is super blurring, super mattifying. It leaves a lovely sort of canvas to work from. It's very, very finely milled. It feels like silk. It's a beautiful powder, something that will take me forever to use because there's so much product in here. Then I have a couple of powder foundations. So I have the, that's not it, I have the MAC Mineral Powder Foundation. This is another one that is sealed. I've never used this, so I can't comment on what it's like, but I quite like a loose powder foundation to add coverage over sort of a light medium foundation when I want my makeup to not budge, to stay in place and to look really perfected. So that's why I got this, but I've had it for a long time, and as you can see I've not even broke the seal on it. Another mineral, no it isn't, I've actually decluttered the Bare Minerals powder foundation from my collection. I gave them to my mum because that's her favourite foundation. This is actually the Featherlight, which is a luminous loose powder that I love to mix with more matte powders. It has sort of like a pearl finish to it. It's really, really beautiful, super lightweight, very silky. Featherlight is the perfect name for it. It's just a beautiful powder, and that mixed with something like the Inglot Stage Sport and Screen would be like a perfect combination. It gives you the matte blurring with the Inglot and just that little bit of radiance with the Bare Minerals. So that's what I like to do with this powder. It's like a mixing powder for me. And then another one that is very similar, just a different tone. This is the Bare Minerals, and I think this is Pink Diamond, is it, or something like that? Diamond Light Mineral Veil, and this is more of a like a rose gold tone. I've obviously not closed it properly, so it's a bit messy in there, but I'll just show you what this one is like. This was like a special edition one, very similar. It just has more of like that pinky gold reflect to it. So these are, you know, these are just great to have when you just want that something a bit different, something a bit special, when you don't want to look like flat powder. These are both very similar. This is the Inglot HD Illuminating powder. This one is in the shade 44. I've already gone through a full one of these in a different colour. I think it was like a pinky rose gold. These are absolutely gorgeous. You can use them all over your face as like a finishing powder, because it's not super duper sparkly, it just has a hint of radiance to it. And these are absolutely stunning. And then one that is something that I very rarely use, but I keep it around because it's just so pretty, and I do actually like to use this on my body. This is Precious Platinum. This is a face and body powder from Bare Minerals, and it is like glitter central. It is super sparkly. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see it, but this is gorgeous, dusted across the chest, across the shoulders. It's absolutely stunning. It is more of a highlight, like a more sparkly highlight, but it isn't, I don't really like a sparkly highlight, so that's why I sort of keep this one to use on my body for special occasions. It's one that I keep thinking about decluttering, but I just think it's too pretty, and it was something my mum gave me. There's a ton of product in here, so it's ideal to use as like a body product. So that's all my loose powders. Now we'll look at pressed powders. Okay, so these are all the pressed powders that I currently have in my collection. Really discovered some absolute standout favourites in 2021 and brought a lot of these into my collection last year. First of all, I'm going to start off with the one powder that I have in this palette. So these are all Inglot Freedom System products. This is a highlight, blush, 4 contour or sculpting powders, and a HD pressed powder. So this has radiance to it, but it is a gorgeous powder to use all over the skin for setting. It's not something that I tend to use under my eyes because it is a little bit too radiant for that, but it looks absolutely gorgeous all over the face, especially sort of on those highlighty areas. It's a beautiful powder, one that I would definitely repurchase. Inglot products, I've said time and time again, do not get enough love. That feels like velvet. It's such a soft powder. As you can see, I've dug my nail into it, and I have got quite a good dip in there. Then we have the powder that is in my project pan at the moment. This is the Chanel Le Beige Healthy Glow powder. This is absolutely stunning, one of my favourite powders in my collection, and another one that I was holding off using because I love it so much I didn't want to use it up, but this is just perfect in every way. It's nice and blurring, it's not a flat matte, but it sets your foundation and locks it in place. It's just a beautiful powder. I can't fault it enough. I can't praise it enough, and I can't fault it in any way. The only thing is I have broken the compact. Then another one that is older in my collection is my Urban Decay Illuminizer. This is a pressed powder with shimmer particles in it. This is one that I save for special occasions because, again, I love it so much and you can't get this powder anymore. It's beautiful, it's super soft, super silky. It does everything that I want whilst also giving me a lovely bit of a glow. Very similar actually to Glowish, the Glowish powder by Huda Beauty, but as I say, you can't actually get this product anymore. Then I have my MAC X Trolls beauty powder. This is a pink radiant powder that I like to use sort of down the centre of my face, on any areas that I want to be glowy but not shiny. It's a very light pink powder with a fair bit of a glow to it. I mean, you can see a theme here. I do love a glow. I have very dry skin, so anything that I can use that gives me a bit of a glow that I don't have naturally, then I love. And then for like traditional pressed powders, we have the MAC Studio Care Blend pressed powder. This is another one that I have yet to use. I love the MAC pressed powders. The Studio Fix Powder Foundation was a long time favourite, and one that I went through multiple compacts of, as well as their blot powder. I'm not sure whether, I think if memory serves me, the blot powder was discontinued and this came in to replace it, and I think this one has now been discontinued as well, but I'm not 100% sure, don't quote me on it. But yeah, excited to use this because I've had really good experience with MAC powders. Then another favourite from last year is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Powder. This is just a beautiful blurring lightweight powder. I especially love this under my eyes, down the sides of my nose, around my mouth. I've made quite a big dip in it, considering it was something that I didn't really start using fully until the end of 2021, but it is definitely something that I would repurchase. Then the Cosus Code Set. This is one that I've only actually used once, but when I used it that once, I absolutely fell in love with it. It's something that I want to use. I want to get through the older products in my collection so I can focus on these newer ones that I know will be favourites. It's a beautiful powder. It's so soft, silky and lightweight. It has a slight bit of radiance, but nothing like the other ones that I was just showing you. It's just perfect in every way. I absolutely love it, and I know this has sort of been top on a lot of people's favourites for 2021. Then I have another brand new one that I haven't used yet. This is the, actually I did use it, I've used it once just to try it. This is the Pat McGrath Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder, and it definitely is blurring. It was gorgeous. I absolutely loved my experience using this. Same with the Cosus, and I'm going to say the same about these four as well. These are things that I absolutely know will be favourites of mine, something that I would repurchase time and time again, and I just want to get through the older products in my collection so I can focus on these, if that makes sense. An absolute standout favourite for 2021 for me was the Dior Powder No Powder. I don't know what's going on with this focus. So this is the Dior Backstage Face and Body Powder No Powder. It is a really strange formula for powder. It has a creaminess to it, and a lot of other people have said that this has hard pan. Now, I don't actually, even though I've scraped at mine, I don't actually think it is hard pan. I think it's just such a hard baked gelée formula that you feel like you're getting absolutely no product off on the brush. But when that brush touches your skin, when you use the right brush with it, something magical happens. So even though it looks like hard pan, I don't actually think it is hard pan. I think it's just the formula of the powder. So this was the first one that I purchased. This is in the shade 1N, but this is a little bit too deep for me to use under my eyes. As you can see, it is quite warm, so I purchased the shade 0, and this is absolutely perfect for under my eyes. These are just a dream combination for me. If I want to feel so beautiful, then I use these, and I also have a deep shade that I use as a bronzer, which, just as a spoiler, became one of my absolute favourite bronzers of 2021, and it's not even a bronzer, it's a face powder. Another favourite is the Huda Glowish. This again is a radiant setting powder. It can be used as a powder foundation, which is how it's marketed, but it's not something I have used. I have very dry skin, so powder foundation isn't really my cup of tea unless I'm using it like a setting powder to add a bit more coverage. This is super lightweight, super silky and finely milled, and it has a beautiful glow to it. The whole Glowish line has been a complete winner for me. And then another radiant powder. This is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Glow Fusion powder. This is utterly beautiful. This feels like a cream. It's really soft and spongy, and again it has a glow to it, a little bit more of a glow than the Glowish. So this is a little bit, if you go too ham with this, you will look a bit like Tin Man-esque, but I absolutely adore this powder. This is a really special powder, and it's something that, you know, when I want to do my super glam looks, this is the powder that I would reach for. So that is all my pressed and loose powders, and now we'll look at cream bronzers and contour products. Okay guys, so I've had to give in and put my overhead light on, which is quite warm in tone, so it is warming things up slightly. So I hope this is okay. As it gets darker and darker, I will grab my ring light, but at the moment I feel like there's enough light. So these are all my cream bronzers and contours. I don't tend to do separate, so I don't tend to bronze and contour on the everyday. I only tend to do that if I'm like going out and I want to be uber glam. The main contour products that I use are the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand and the Beauty Pie Quick Colour Contour Super Gel, and I also use the Danessa Myrick's Essentials palette. These are like my traditional, more cooler toned contour products. So this is the Danessa Myrick's Essentials palette. This is a waterproof cream colour palette that is absolutely beautiful. It's the most pigmented cream products that I've got in my collection, and as you can see from the usage, I tend to mix between these three colours here for like a bronzer contour situation. I do use these as I've used this as a blush. I've used these on my lips and mixed with this light one to create like my own blush shade. This is a really great little palette, and like I say, it is so super pigmented. I'll just show you the lightest touch, and it is just intense. Really intensely pigmented, but an absolutely beautiful product, and something that I don't use as much as I should. And then the Charlotte Tilbury, this is probably my favourite contour product, and it's something that I don't use as much because I don't want to use it all up, because I know these are really hard to get hold of. This is the light one, so this is the lightest colour, and then the Beauty Pie is a dupe for it, but I got the deeper tone because I wanted something a little bit deeper and warmer to use as more of a bronzer than a contour. But I am so fair that that one works as that on me, a bronzer contour. But as you can see, this one is quite a bit deeper and warmer, but all absolutely amazing products. And I don't, as I say, I don't contour on the everyday, so I don't feel the need to have a ton of contour products, but I do love a bronzer. I'm very pale, so I do love to warm my face up. I do have the Danessa Myrick's Balm Contour, but for me this is more of a bronzy shade. I got the shade 2 medium, was it 2 medium? No, light 2, and this is a beautiful cream bronzer. I absolutely love it. The formula is magical. It's not super dewy and super glowy, but it's not powdery and dry and difficult to blend. It's absolutely gorgeous. Then very similar, I have the BFF. This is the bronzing face frosting from Pink Honey, and this is in the shade Buttercream, which I think is the lightest or second to lightest shade. This is, I mean, there's a massive pan. This is, I think it's like 40 grams of product. This has more of a yellow tone to it, but it is an absolutely beautiful product. Super pigmented, super easy to blend, really malleable, absolutely stunning. And it's a UK indie brand, so it's fun to try more indie products. Then I have probably my favourite, one of my favourite cream bronzers of all time, the Fenty cream bronzers. I have two shades. I have Butter Biscuit and Macchiato. Butter Biscuit is the one I have used the most. It's more of a cool tone shade, and then Macchiato I haven't even dipped into yet. This is a warmer tone. I wanted something that was a little bit more suitable for me in the summer, so I'll just do swatches to compare the shades. So this is Butter Biscuit, and then Macchiato. So not an absolutely huge leap, but you can see that Macchiato is just that little bit warmer. They're so easy to use. These were the products that made me fall in love with cream bronzing and cream blush. I can't find fault with them at all. The only thing is I wish she'd bring out more shades of the cream blushes. I know she bought a couple out as like limited edition ones, but I'd really love to see some deeper like oranges and terracottas in her line. Then some other favourites, these are the Nudies matte bronzing sticks. This one is a traditional bronzer colour, this is Bondo Bay, but then I've got Beach Babe and Sunkissed, which look more like blushes, but they are considered bronzers. And what I like doing with these is I like to apply Bondo Bay all over, like everywhere that I bronze, and then use one of these just on the high points to sort of create fake that like sunburnt look. So I'll swatch these so you can see the difference in colours. So Bondi Bay, which is very similar to Fenty Beauty Macchiato. Then we have Sunkissed, which has more of a rosy tone to it. And then we have Sunkissed, which is more terracotta red. And they just look gorgeous, to give that real, like, just spent the day in the sun, just come off the beach kind of look. And then lastly, for cream bronzers, we have my Chanel Tan de Chanel. This is the Universal Bronzing Cream. They have since finally brought out a deeper shade, but this is the original, and I absolutely love this. It's so easy, it's because it's a lighter tone, it never looks over the top, it never looks false, it just looks like a really natural bronzy glow, and the formula is gorgeous. It's on the drier side, so it's really super easy to blend, and it sets down as well. As you can see, it's a lot sheerer than the nude sticks, so it's, like I say, it's really difficult to mess this one up, and you can build it up. So yeah, that is all of the cream bronzers in my collection. So now we'll move on to blush. Okay, so I did grab my ring light, so hopefully you'll be able to see blush shades a little bit better. And I also realised I forgot to mention a couple of products. So from my powders, I forgot my Beauty Pie Moonlighting Balm. This is a radiant powder in the shade Supernova. I thought this might be like a highlight, but it is actually gorgeous as a finishing powder, just lightly dusted over targeted areas on the skin. It's a gorgeous creamy powder. It does look super glowy, and I think if you used enough of this you could get a super blinding highlight, but blended out lightly across the skin, it just gives that lovely bit of radiance. It's really pretty, and it looks totally different on the skin than you would actually imagine it to look. So that is that. And then I also forgot to mention, because it's in my Shop My Stash, my favourite probably cream bronzer of all time, Hula Quickie Contour Stick. This is just so easy to use. It's an absolutely perfect colour on my fair skin. Another product that made me fall in love with cream bronzing, and I just absolutely love it. That one is in my Shop My Stash and is also in my project pan for this year. Okay, and now on to blushes. So I do have a fair collection of cream blushes, and towards the end of 2021 I actually went off cream blush as much as in the summer. I think I tend to gravitate towards creams more in the spring and summer, but it is something that I am starting to introduce into my routine again. In the spring and summer I was obsessed. I didn't really touch a powder blusher, but it's kind of, it went the total opposite in the colder months. So firstly we'll talk about the older cream blushes in my collection, the Glossier Cloud Paints. Now I have the shades Dusk, Beam, Storm and Haze. Storm and Haze were newer colours to me, and I originally got the shades Dusk and Beam. So Dusk is a lovely sort of go with anything rosy nude. And then you've got Beam, which is a lovely peachy tone. You do have to be careful with these because a ton of product does come out when you open them. So this is Beam. And then my favourites are Haze and Storm because they're much stronger, more vibrant colours. And whilst I do need to go easy with these and use a lighter hand, I do love a strong blush. So that one is Haze, like a beautiful berry tone. And then the shade Storm, which I think this is my favourite, and I actually haven't used it yet. So let's give it a swatch. But this is just my favourite kind of blush colour, like a beautiful terracotta, like crimson toned brown, just absolutely stunning. So those are my cloud paints. And then very, very similar in style to the cloud paints is the Flower Beauty Blush Balm. I only have one of these, just wanted to try it out, and I really do like the formula of these. This is in the shade Melon. The applicator is way better on these than the cloud paints. And even though it looks super strong and bright, it can be blended out quite sheer, and it's just a really stunning product. Probably stays more glowy than the cloud paints. The cloud paints do dry down to a matte finish, and I find that the blush bombs, they feel more creamy to the touch, more like a gel than like a paint. And then we have kind of a random one that was given to me by my mom, the Ysl Baby Cheeks. This is a lip and, like they call it kiss and blush, it's a lip and cheek stain. This one's okay, it's not anything I would rave about, but I do really like the colour. This one does dry down, just set down, and it's like a typical like baby doll pink. Then another one that is sort of like a one-off, I have the Beauty Pie. These are the multi-glow sticks, and this one is in the shade Santorini. I don't think these are available anymore. This is a beautiful highlighter for deeper skin tones, but on me it's like a gorgeous glowy, like tangerine type blush. It has a lot of gold in there, but it has a beautiful peachy orange base to it, and blended out it just looks absolutely stunning. Not sure how well it's picking up on camera. You can sort of see it better on my finger. And then similar to that, sort of more of a shimmery stick, we have the Nars Multiple in the shade Orgasm. This is the Orgasm Blush in a cream form, and it's stunning. I prefer this cream one to the powder. I just like the sheerness of it, and the, you know, the blendability of it a little bit more than the powder. The powder blush is in my project pan for this year, and it's not a favourite. I find the cream version is, as I say, it's more sheer, it's easier to blend, and I just like the fact that this formula, like this sheer shimmery wash of colour, is in a cream better than a powder, if that makes sense. Okay, and then we have one of my favourite cream blushes, the Infatuate. This is by Illuminizer, and it's called the, I think it's Colour Veil, yeah, Colour Veil Gel Blusher in the shade Infatuate. This is super pigmented, it's a gorgeous formula, it's like a gel, and the colour very similar to Storm from Glossier. It's like that reddy brown terracotta. Gorgeous formula, nice and glowy and dewy, but it does set down. Doesn't stay like sticky on the skin. It's just a really, really beautiful formula, and I don't hear anybody talk about these at all. So let's just bring the ring light a bit closer so you can see some of these colours a bit better. The trouble with ring light is I do find that it bleaches colours out a bit, so you can't see the, you know, the tones of these blushes as well as you can in like real life. Okay, so we've adjusted a little bit. I hope this looks a little bit better and the lighting looks a little bit better the way it is now. These videos are definitely better to film in the daylight by the window, so I think I shall do future ones of these earlier in the day. So next up we have the e.l.f. Putty Blushes. These were a great drugstore discovery for 2021. The only trouble is I can't tell you what the shades are on these because I can't see it anywhere on the packaging. I can sort of guess as to what they are, but I can't be certain, unfortunately. I think the pink one, like the baby pink one, is Bora Bora, but that's the only one that I can sort of tell you off the top of my head. But these are a lovely formula, and they're really easy to use. You can't really go wrong with these, you can't mess them up. They're really blurring on the skin. Same formula pretty much as the Putty primer, and they do dry down to a powdery finish pretty quickly actually. As you start working them into the skin, they go to that like powdery finish, and they're really easy to blend. And they also have a really great range of colours. You know, for a drugstore brand, I think e.l.f. really do nail it when it comes to the colour range. So those are the Putty Blushes, and then we've got from Fenty Beauty the Cheeks Out Cream Blushes. I absolutely adore these. I don't use these as much as I should. I have the shades Bikini Martini, which is this beautiful bright pink. The only thing with these, with any like cream in a pan sort of palette like this, is they do look absolutely disgusting when you start using them regularly, like this one. So that's the shade Bikini Martini, beautiful blue base pink. Then we've got Strawberry Drip, which is another favourite kind of colour of mine. Reddy, bright reddy pink. Then we've got Rosé Latte, which is probably my favourite of the bunch. Again, it's that like browny reddy terracotta kind of colour that I just can't get enough of. And then finally, another top pick is the shade Cool Berry, which is a really unusual, cool toned, like berry shade, which has like a gold reflect through it. It's absolutely stunning in the autumn and winter. So that's the shade Cool Berry. Absolutely stunning formula, pretty much identical to the cream bronzers. You can't go wrong with them, and they're just beautiful. I just wish you'd extend that colour range. And then again from Fenty, some other absolute winner products for me. These are the match sticks, and these are like the blush shades, and they all have like a shimmer reflect to them. I do love a shimmery blush. So this is the shade Pink Lemonade. These are definitely a drier formula, but they're so easy to work with. And then we have the shade Chili Mango. This one is probably my favourite. Beautiful, punchy, bright orange. And then we have the shade Riddick. And actually, as I've been swatching those, very surprised, but I think I have decided to declutter the Nars Multiple, because I much prefer the formula of the shade Pink Lemonade. It's a lot less sparkly and has a lot more colour to it. So I think my mum will absolutely love this. So I am going to declutter that one, which I didn't think I would be decluttering whilst doing these videos, but here you go. And then I have the two Nudies matte blushes. These are like their traditional blushes. I've got the shade Nude Peach, which is I'm running out of room, a gorgeous go with anything peach, which has kind of a white base to it. And then the shade Bareback, and this one is definitely a go with absolutely anything. It's like a nude, very light nude pink, and it just goes with every possible look you can imagine. Warm tones, cool tones, soft glam, full glam. It's gorgeous. And then my favourite blush, cream blush discovery of 2021, the Melt Cream Blush Lights. If I could, I'd own every single colour in the lineup, but I just have these four. So I have the shades Golden Hour, Polished, Sundown and Lynx, and the formula on these is out of this world. It's super creamy, just the right amount of pigment, and I got all the ones that have a pearl through them, because as I said, I love a shimmery blush. So this is the shade Golden Hour, and this is the one that I've used the most. So that's Golden Hour. Then we have Polished, which they describe as a grapefruit shade. Gorgeous. Just slightly brighter and deeper. As you can see, I have a type. And then we have Sundown, which is actually beautiful to be used as a blush or a bronzer. I've used this for both. It's a beautiful bronze with a gold reflect, but it has a hint of pink to it, so it does work as a blush. And then the shade Lynx, which is very similar to Sundown but lighter and more yellow toned. There we go. So that is some cream blush swatches. So that is everything for this drawer. So I'm going to tidy everything away and then I'll come back to wrap up. Okay, I realised I missed 3, so I missed my Beauty Pie cream blushes, so I'll just swatch these quite quickly. So I have the shade French Raspberry, Fresh Faced and Universal Pink. My absolute favourite is French Raspberry. You can see a theme. I like a blue based pink, a peachy orange and a really deep red or plum. So those are the shades of the Beauty Pie cream blushes. These are also a great formula, super pigmented, really easy to blend, and they do dry down to like a powdery finish, so they're pretty much unfuckable. So that is everything in that drawer. I really do hope that you are enjoying these videos and having a little peek into my makeup collection. Whilst this isn't a declutter, as I've already decluttered, like with the Nars stick, there may be items as I'm going through and I'm swatching things that I've realised that I've got, say, 2 very similar products and I prefer one over the other, and I'll declutter there and then. So it may be that I don't declutter anything else, or I may declutter a few more items. We'll just see as the videos go on. So thank you guys for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed this. Please do leave me a like if you did enjoy it. Leave me a comment. Please do consider subscribing to my channel, pretty please. It would mean the absolute world. But other than that, I think this has been a long enough video as it is. I hope you're having an amazing day, week, year, month. January's always a tough one, so I hope you're finding joy in the little moments. So keep loving yourself, keep loving each other. I love you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.